Okay, this is the front cover. This is the front cover of the new one. So, okay, welcome to a new episode, Coaching Board. Continuing the list of 9 books that have been influential to me and that have helped me with my coaching over the past decade, seeing as we're going into a new decade. So some books that you might have overlooked, not heard of, or looking for inspiration on something to read. So in this episode we're going to be looking at book number 3, which is Inverting the Pyramid by Jonathan Wilson. Now there's 3 different versions of this, as I think at the moment, and I've read the first 2 versions and I've not read the latest version. But basically they kind of just, Jonathan Wilson like edits and updates it to keep it relevant for the latest sort of couple of years. So for instance, in the first book didn't have anything to do with Bilbao or Bielsa, and then in the second one it did, and then there was more Guardiola in that one as well. So if you can, make sure when you're looking for it online or in a bookstore, you're looking for at least the 3rd edition. This is the front cover of the new one. So the first one had it was more green colour. The second one was a little bit more washed out, like a greyish kind of colour, and then this one is yellow. So my recommendations, at least the second one or the yellow one. Any coaches, managers, or sort of football geeks out there, this is the book for you. I spoke to a lot of people about this book. I loved it and enjoyed it, but the start of it can be quite tricky because it is like sort of dated late 1800s and goes into the early 1900s. So it's basically the evolution of tactics, football, soccer. And it kind of starts then and then slowly goes through the different chapters, going through different eras, and then managers and countries that have been influential during them decades. So like I said, it's not, a few people struggle with the start of the book, but then when it comes a little bit later to when they started watching football, then they start to get a little bit more interested in it. But to be honest, I found it quite interesting to just see how tactics evolved, where they've come from, and you can start to see patterns on what's happened over the years. So yeah, I understand that this book might not be for everyone, and it can be sort of a lot slower reading. You almost need to read like a couple of pages or a chapter at most, and then let it sort of digest. But in terms of coaches, certainly serious coaches and managers, if you want to get a better tactical understanding, this will kind of give you some great foundations to build on, and at least then you'll understand the strengths and the weaknesses of them tactics, where they've come from and what the thinking behind them. Obviously the game's changed and moved on, so some of the tactics are irrelevant now, but there's definitely little things, tips and tricks that are going to help you. Like a bit that I remember, which was really good for me, was Brazil's tactics. I think it was like early 90s, which I found quite interesting. So you should have a look at that. And then also during the 50s, Hungary, and then there's a nice little bit earlier than that on about the Austrian coffee shops, where all the sort of coaches, managers and football people would all sort of meet together and discuss coaching and tactics. So yeah, if you want to geek out a little bit, get a better understanding of tactics and where they've come from, then this is certainly the book for you. But like I said, be warned, the first few chapters can be quite difficult because it is like a different sport to start with. Okay, thanks for watching, and the next episode we'll be discussing a new book.